Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out 2-sentence horror. Story 1. I wanted to donate a kidney. The surgeons were stupefied when they found out just how many I had. Story 2. Always aim for the head, she reminded me. The bullet leaves an unpleasant residue taste when it's lodged in the flesh. Story 3. I have too many holes in my body. And far too many of them have teeth. Story 4. The heart of this island is infused with magic, the old man told the travelers, that makes dreams come true. Not daydreams, he muttered as he slipped away quickly with their boat, dreams. Story 5. There's always that one house you ride your bike past a little faster than the others. In my neighborhood, that house is mine. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 6. I can't wait for Mummy and Daddy to meet the new pet I found. He's so happy to have a new family, he even can't stop foaming at the mouth. Story 7. I finished my 3rd bottle of natural spring water today, finally feeling good and refreshed. That is until I saw the news an hour later of several dead bodies found upstream of the local water collection facility. Story 8. The annoying kids from the flat above me don't let me sleep because they are playing so damn loud. Next morning I decided to go upstairs, but I don't know why there is police tape at the door. Story 9. Burton was so happy to finally be included in the family turkey hunt that he didn't even question it when they asked him not to wear a reflective vest. Don't worry, his grandfather laughed as Burton hid behind a tree, heaving gulps of air and fearing for his life. We'll make sure your family is well fed. Story 10. After my oldest brother's funeral I killed my other brother. I sliced him in half, placed each of him next to me and so I could sleep in the middle, surrounding with the warmth from my brothers just like the old days. Story 11. You were cut up in tiny pieces as if you had been in a paper shredder. But now every piece is wriggling like parasite worms. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 12. I was at the winter market when the sun suddenly disappeared from the midday sky, and yet as everyone around me panicked I found myself unable to move. For I had witnessed the old hag in front of me hiding the sun in her cloak, and as she began to transform I realized that what I had seen would cost me my life. Story 13. The love of my life treated me to a beautiful dinner and brought us to our favorite secluded spot before dropping to one knee. I realized the object they pulled from their pocket was a knife, and now my heart is split in two. Story 14. I watched the fire dance around the old orphanage. The sounds of their screams, feeling the same pain I went through in that very building so many years ago. Story 15. When I became limbless, the worst part was that I would become a burden to my parents. Well, apparently there was no point in worrying. Story 16. He ran the calculations again on the enormous asteroid hurtling toward Earth before sitting back in his chair, stunned. The conclusion was inescapable. It was slowing down. Story 17. My teacher always told me that I was a good for nothing and a failure, and I always wanted to prove him wrong. Today I found his head on the house of the serial killer I caught. Story 18. I was happy when the police opened my trunk and couldn't find the body. But I was also very, very confused. Story 19. When I arrived home from work I found blood and vomit in my living room. I bathed in and drank it, hoping to enjoy her comforting presence one last time. Story 20. Many may disagree, but CoComelon is a perfect tool for expecting parents. It's so much easier to snatch kids away when they're distracted by a tablet. Story 21. I've been waiting for this moment for my entire life. I thought to myself as the nurse asked if I wanted to put my abusive mother in comfort care or do full code. Story 22. Don't feel bad, there are plenty of things that you can do that I can't. Like feeling remorse. Story 23. After I woke up from my surgery, the doctor told me that I had died on the operating table for 8 minutes. I had no idea. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 24. I'm legally blind but I love reading the stories on Reddit and the friends I've made here. Then Reddit changed their API policy and all of my connections are gone. Story 25. When she came home she found that her toddler had made many colorful handprints on the wall. With a sigh she tried to wipe the prints with a cloth, only to be startled when a handprint grabbed the cloth. Story 26. I working in ventriloquism. The audience loved it when I started to speak, and only the guy whose lap I was sitting on started to look distressed. Story 27. You don't really get much regulars in my kind of business. Which really surprises me that this is the third time in a month now that I'm burying this body. Story 28. Insects don't come to light because they are attracted to it, but rather because they know what's in the dark. Story 29. People said the gift ran in the family. To those affected it felt less like a running and more like a slithering, like some heavy, cold-blooded thing, slouching its way down the family tree and squeezing delicate heartbeats until it could swallow them whole. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 30. Everyone was laughing when scientists said that the moon was actually made out of cheese. But when the Earth's orbit was disrupted we realized we were about to find out what made the cheese. Story 31. My mother told me no matter what they could never take my words. Story 32. Samantha's family was relieved when her captor said she would finally return home. 2 weeks later and they're still waiting for the rest of her body to come in the mail. Story 33. I wished everyone in the world would find happiness and blew out the candles. Story 34. December announcement and November winners. We blinked our remaining, ungouged eye and it's the end of the year. It's been a strange ride to 1 million+ members this year. Thanks for sticking with us. We're still slanging permabans for plagiarism, and more importantly, posts. Please read the forever stickied post here. We see you, crew. You know where you should be posting. Report things. If you see a story you think breaks the sub rules, report the story/comment and it'll get in front of the mods. We understand we may be slow with mod mail replies. If it's been a week and still left unanswered, hit us with a follow-up. Read up on our 3 strikes and you're out. Rule trolling and sexualizing minors will typically get you a strike. If you've been cool for 60 days, hit us up and we can review and remove the strike for a clean slate. Some of you all may need a refresher for our rules. Let's drive that point home. Your story this month must include the word double or a variation, e.g., doubled, doubly. As in, this is 2-sentence horror. 2. Double. Not 3. Not misuse of semicolons. Not using dialogue to include 5 sentences. 2. Baby. Double. Properly formatted December 2023 examples. DEC23 double means consisting of 2. This is the second sentence. DEC23 this is the first sentence. This second sentence is double trouble. Improperly formatted examples. DIS23 this tag isn't right, includes a space between month and year. I doubly didn't do this right. In DEC23, I got the tag right, but it's not at the beginning. I also didn't mention the theme. December contest rules. Submissions that are improperly formatted, do not fit the theme, or break any of the existing sub-rules will be disqualified and removed. The top 10 highest voted stories will be the winners. Winners can only place in the top 10 once. The highest of the entries will be their winner. Only net new stories will be allowed, no repurposing old stories you've previously submitted. Max 3 stories per day is a general rule, and all 3 can be used towards the contest. Winners will be decided by total community upvotes. In the unlikely event of a tie for the top spots, moderators will vote for a tiebreaker. Winners will receive first, second, and third places, you receive a custom personal flare of your choosing to show off to the TSH community. If you're a repeat winner, you can modify your flare. But that's it. And a cool fancy flare on your winning stories. 7 honorable mentions. Story links will be featured on next month's announcement. Contest ends on December 31, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. GMT. Any questions should be made below in the Story 35. Broken and bleeding on the asphalt, she stares wide-eyed at the strangers who circle around her, desperately trying to help. She's agonizing over the knowledge that most people defecate when they pass, and mortified to have such an audience. Story 36. They always say never underestimate the sound a mother makes when she loses her child. It wasn't until I heard the news that I realized I had been overestimating mine. Story 37. Alone. He asked me to tell his mom goodbye, as I rolled him over the side of the raft. The sharks took care of the rest as I smiled. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 38. No parent should have to bury their own child. But if my son wasn't so irritating, maybe I wouldn't have had to. Story 39. We had locked our classroom door and waited for help. We heard shots from the classroom next to us after they opened the door to someone saying, "Police, open up." Story 40. The crew took one look at the fire in the cargo hold and abandoned ship. Curious onlookers gathered by the shore as the burning munitions ship drifted closer to town. Story 41. With a horde of flesh-eating zombies behind me, I looked at my family in front of me. And that moment of shock was enough of a hesitation for me to bite into my youngest and start to feast on him. Story 42. He swooned over the woman instantly. It was love at first sight. Until her ethereal looks disappeared, only leaving skeletal remains by morning. Story 43. DEC-23. In the oddly lit room, she discovered an old photograph of herself, except her doppelganger in the picture had eyes that glimmered with a haunting familiarity, peering back from the past with a knowing gaze that mirrored her own. The more she tried to forget the image, the more it seemed to double in her mind, haunting her waking moments and invading her dreams. Be the first to comment. Nobody's responded to this post yet. Add your thoughts and get the conversation going. Story 44. They said my infant sister had absorbed her twin in the womb. Why then, didn't they get happy when I found a knife and tried to get it out of her? Story 45. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood and I took the one less traveled by. It's been 2 days now and I have been waiting for someone to hear my cries for help as I lay with a broken ankle in a pitfall trap. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.